So training camp is officially underway for all 20 teams as the players doing their conditioning or they're on the ice, getting to know one another. It's an exciting time of year. You got the whole fresh regular season just around the corner, but expect to see a few more moves between now and the end of September as teams kind of figure out their overage positions, seeing what they may need, maybe some of these trades, trying to keep up with the competition in their conference. So we're also wanting to watch players that are going to go off to NHL camp. How long do they stay at camp? Do they come back to junior? Players like Colby Barlow and Callum Ritchie, Beckett Seneca, they come to mind. But those are just a few of the players that we'll want to keep an eye on as they head off to NHL camps in the coming weeks. But as broadcasters, we're also in the process of getting ready for the upcoming broadcast season. I'll be kind of looking at the schedule this week, and we'll be actually hosting a meeting. Gene and I are going to be back in the booth on Rogers TV for the Barrie Colts, and Thomas West, of course, will be on the sideline. So we're getting things ready behind the scenes. I don't know if we're going to be doing any preseason broadcasts. Our first broadcast might not be until the Barrie Colts home opener, but we'll have to wait and see as this all gets underway. It's an exciting time of year. And even for the Barrie Colts, they have their blue-white game. That's going to be Thursday night at the Sadlon Arena. Puck drop is at 6 o'clock. Also free hot dogs for those in attendance. And then the first exhibition game will be on Saturday. They're going to take on the Oshawa Generals. And then the Owen Sound Attacker in town Monday night at 6 p.m. So this is an exciting time of year when we get ready for the fresh start. And we'll have to wait and see how it all transpires between now and the start of the 24-25 season. But there have been a couple of trades to talk about. Starting off the Barrie Colts, they've acquired Brad Gardiner from the Ottawa 67s. They sent Ottawa 4 picks, including 2 second-round picks in 2026 and 2028. The Colts, they do seem to have a thing for Dallas Stars prospect, as Gardiner, a draft pick of the Dallas Stars, along with Tristan Bertucci, who they acquired last week, and also the import forward Emil Hemming, another Dallas Stars prospect. So 3 Stars prospects will now be on the Barrie Colts roster. So Gardiner, he is a centerman who put up 16 goals, 33 assists, good for 49 points last season. He appeared in 67 games, and he kind of provides the Barrie Colts with more forward depth. And maybe expect to see him on the third line, as the top 6 already quite loaded. And I don't think the Barrie Colts are done yet with making moves before the start of the regular season. And for the Ottawa 67s, they're a team looking to recoup draft picks this year. I'm expecting them to take a bit of a step back from what we saw the last couple of years. But still, Brad Gardiner now moving on to the Barrie Colts. You kind of wonder, too, with him coming to Barrie, if his offensive numbers will improve, because under Dave Cameron, he kind of has a defense-first style of system. And coming over Gardiner to the Barrie Colts might get a little more offensive freedom under Marty Williamson. We'll have to wait and see on that front, but still a depth move here for the Barrie Colts. And like I said earlier, it doesn't sound like the Colts are done making moves either. So keep a close watch on the Barrie Colts in the coming weeks. There was also another trade that was announced on Friday. At the time I was away, so I wasn't able to make a video on this, so I want to touch on it now. The Niagara IceDogs, they've acquired Noah Van Vleit from the Sudbury Wolves for a 15th round pick in 2026 and 3 conditional picks, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th. And it all depends on if Van Vleit ends up playing for the Niagara IceDogs in the regular season. So Van Vleit, he was one of the big trade deadline acquisitions for the Sudbury Wolves last year, coming over from the Brantford Bulldogs, where Sudbury gave up Owen Protz, 2 second-round picks, and a 3rd. So the Wolves gave up quite a bit for Van Vleit, and now because he's an overager this season, moving on to the Niagara IceDogs. So Van Vleit, a stay-at-home defenseman, last season, 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points in the season. After being traded to Sudbury, posted 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points for the Wolves after the trade. So his offensive totals are not going to impress you. It's his stay-at-home defense. He's a shutdown guy, and that could be a big plus for this Niagara IceDogs team that's looking to bounce back and get back into the playoff picture for the first time since 2019. And for the Niagara IceDogs, they've been focused on defense these last couple of weeks. They've now made a few moves. Last week, they acquired Jack Browdy and Blair Scott from the Barrie Colts. So defense, it's going to look a little different when the season starts for the Niagara IceDogs. Now, if Van Vleit plays for Niagara, I think he'd be a good fit with Browdy because Browdy more of a mobile defenseman. He's also got that sandpaper style of play. So a Van Vleit Browdy combination could go quite well for the Niagara IceDogs this upcoming season. But that being said, adding another overager kind of complicates things a little bit in Niagara. They have 5 other overage candidates. They have Owen Flores in net, Ryan Van Etten on the blue line, and then Michael Podolou, Evan Klein, and Gavin Bryant up front are the other overage candidates for the Niagara IceDogs. And Gavin Bryant, of course, served as captain last season. So some big decisions still to be made when it comes to the IceDogs going into next season. And as for the Sudbury Wolves, they've been able to narrow it down for their overage situation. They're now down to Kochadelic, Donovan McCoy, and Nick DeAngelis heading into the regular season because you're allowed 3 overagers on the ice per game, but you can hold more than 3. It's just a player would have to be a healthy scratch if they're the 4th overager on your roster. Now some exciting news in regards to signings. Quentin Burns from the Kingston Frontenacs. He has signed his 3-year NHL entry-level contract with the St. Louis Blues. Burns drafted in the 3rd round of the 2023 NHL Draft, 74th overall. And for Burns, a physical defenseman, he was 6th in penalty minutes overall for the Ontario Hockey League last season. 120 penalty minutes to go along with 6 goals, 29 assists, 35 points. So the Frontenacs, I view them as a bit of a dark horse in the East Division. And Burns, I think he's going to be a factor for Kingston if they will, in fact, challenge for top spot in the East. But still, congratulations, Quentin Burns, on that NHL contract and now getting ready for the upcoming season with Kingston. Now, staying with the Frontenacs, they've also signed Finnish defenseman Emil Pieniemi. He has agreed to an OHL scholarship and development agreement. For Pieniemi, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 2023 NHL Draft. He was also drafted 10th overall in the CHL import selection in 2023 by Kingston. So they had to wait a little bit to get the Finnish defenseman to come over to North America to join the Frontenacs. But he's a big defenseman, 6'2", 176 pounds. Despite his size, though, he is a solid skater. And I think he's going to help Kingston going into next year as they look to make a climb up the Eastern Conference standings. And one more import signing to talk about here in this video. The London Knights, they've signed Gleb Semenov, who they selected in the 2nd round of the CHL import draft. Semenov, a 17-year-old forward out of Russia. He appeared in 29 games in Moscow last year, posting 42 points. So he has a nose for the net, and I would think he fits in well in the top 9 here for the London Knights going into a season where London should be one of the more competitive teams in the Western Conference. So those are the news items for today. And let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on any of these trades. What are you excited for as, training camp has arrived. And it's an exciting time of year. It's a fresh start for all 20 teams, and we'll see what happens next. So thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you again soon.